Hello, Tom Stapleton here, Executive Director of WCAT, and with me today I have Betsy SHEERAN, and she's the person that runs Wakefield. Wakefield, the town clerk of Wakefield.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
There are those that would disagree.
Clear that up there, yeah.
Those to be offended.
We don't want to get you in trouble
No.
right off the bat here.
No.
And we have a lot to talk about today, Betsy, and well, as we get right into it, how'd you like to go over the census? And what do you think about that? What's going on?
All right, here's the deal. Now, I haven't seen you since before the April election, so
Right.
we've had sort of a vacation.
Right.
The census goes out second week in January.
Uh-huh.
People have a very small window of opportunity to get it back into us. We probably have 82% of them back. People don't realize, and I'll take them any time to update the census,
yeah.
because they don't realize that if they don't turn them in, number one, it results in some gerrymandering amongst precincts to keep them all reasonably even.
Okay.
And also, if they don't return them for 2 years, they get dropped by the state from the voting list. So then they come back. These are the people that only vote every 4 years, probably.
Yeah.
They come back. They have to get a provisional ballot. They've been dropped by the state. We can't put them back on. So I can't stress how important it is to just fill out the census, sign it, and get it back to us.
Yeah.
And then we're done.
It's not a big deal.
No, not at all. I mean,
mean,
you might have a change in it or
Change
something.
but it really, I mean, it's all done for you,
It's
basically.
done, yeah. And you just
gotta-
sign it and hit the road with
Yeah.
it. And then at the bottom
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
we have the dog licenses. Now, one thing I'm going to change. I know.
It's another thing.
Back to the Bowsers. I'm going to change something next year. And I can do this. I don't have to go to town meeting, and I don't have to go to the legislature or anything else. The form is at the bottom of the census. Now, the window for registering the dogs is April 1st to May 31st, which is ridiculous because the people have already sent in their, it's mixed up. I want them all to be together. So I'm going to change the dog licensing to January 1st to February 28th or 29th in a leap year.
Okay.
All right? Because we have to start now charging a fine. It's a state law to register the dogs.
Yeah.
We were also the cheapest in the state, $5 per Bowser, as it were, for a spayed or neutered animal. And the cost of the tags and the upkeep of the software to keep everything going, I believe I'm going to ask for $10 a dog. And it's good for a year, and people spend hundreds of dollars on dogs at the, the veterinarians, or for special food, and dog walkers, and everything known to mankind. So
Thousands
I
of
think really.
dollars a
Well,
year
you know,
for
you
animals.
have a dog.
I have two.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Well, save your pennies because it's going up. So that's what we're going to do. So I wanted to coincide with the census so that I can get things into the paper, get things on the Facebook page, get them on the town clerk's page, and go from there. Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea. When do you start doing the fines after the?
We're into the fines now. May 31st was the drop dead date. Now, if somebody moves to Wakefield, we had a woman come in yesterday. She moved from West Roxbury to Wakefield. Now it's a new dog to town, so I'm not going to charge her a fine, for heaven's sakes, So as long as the rabies are up to date, but we've refined the system, the software system. We're saving the town almost $5,000 by doing it in-house.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
and we've added an email to the form so that we can, if they send in the money and the rabies certificate and everything, we can just email them the certificate, which is good,
Right. Good. All right then. Well, that sounds like pretty efficient to me.
Welcome to the 21st century, as
There
I
you go.
say. Right. Yeah.
What about polls?
Okay.
The polls.
The poll pads.
Pads. Yeah.
All right. Poll pads. In fact, Rose Morgan,
Yeah.
crackerjack, wonderful, fantastic worker that I have, I sent her today to a conference this afternoon, and I had Denise, another fantastic person in the office. With these two girls, it just wouldn't happen. I say it all the time, but I cannot praise them enough. They're wonderful, wonderful people, and efficient and smart, and they're just great. So there's a demonstration. There's two companies that provide what they call poll pads, which is going to help me out with early voting, actually.
Yeah.
All right. And it's going to modernize it as efficient as it was, and it was our first time out with the presidential. and they were mobbed. We did almost 6,000 early voters. This is going to make it even more efficient for people. I'm going to try to cut down on the lines, so forth and so on. Anyway, another unfunded mandate from the state. But so they're at a demonstration today, and then I've got all of the paperwork and all of the brochures, and I've talked to the salesman that we're going to decide on which ones we're going to buy. I think I know which ones we're going to buy, but I want to get their input as well.
Yeah.
When my philosophy is you have to include the people that are going to be using it. So, for me to go and say, oh, we're going to get this, when they could say to me, you know what, this one might be a little bit easier to do, X, Y, and Z. So that's what they're doing today. So it was a good mix. One went in the morning, one in the afternoon, and I trust them.
Now, when you say poll pads, is this the way people vote when they're in the booth?
No. It'll be when they come for early voting, and we'll have a tabulation center, and instead of standing in a line that literally went down the corridor and out the door, I'm going to extend the days, number one, stay within the state's, parameters and guidelines.
Yeah.
But it'll be a matter of having our IT department, who are great as well, Todd and Mark and David, and it's almost like a sensor that when you buy something and they take the price, and it's a scanner.
Oh, it's a scanner.
It's a scanner.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to scan them into the state computer.
Okay.
Boom, 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 vote, scan you out, see you later. I just want to move people out.
Yeah, that's quick.
And do it the right way. It'll be more efficient.
So will they go to the booth to make their choices?
Oh, yeah. This is
then
checking them in. See, instead of coming to the window,
Yeah.
you say 200 Main Street, name, Stapleton, Thomas, blah, blah, blah. Get into the computer, find out that you're a registered voter, hand you the ballot, then you go and you vote, and then you come back and we have to check you back in again.
Yeah.
Now it'll be scan you in.
Good.
Okay.
Good deal.
Yep.
Coming up to...
and we have new voting machines as well coming in.
That's right. The last time I think we talked about
We
those.
did.
Yeah.
We could have bought them last year,
Yeah.
but we have one election this year instead of the 5 that
Okay.
we had last year.
Yeah.
Our voting machines, yes, but they lasted for this one election. We had not a problem with any of them. So therefore, we put the money into abeyance, protected it under capital outlay, and now we'll go for them because we'll have at least 3 elections next year.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll have the town, we'll have the primary, and we'll have the general. So, and things are changing every day. I want to get the most modern ones that we can get. So we'll probably order them after July 1st. And then have the training time with
fiscal year, yeah.
New fiscal year.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so that's the election. And what do you have here? Forms
From the election?
from the election.
Yeah. Well, there's another thing. After the election, which was April 25th,
Yeah.
there are certain drop-dead dates that people have to report on their finances, whether they have 0 or $10 million, which of
Okay.
course no one has, but
Yeah.
whatever, not here anyway. And so, end of the year, 8 days before the election, 30 days after the election. The form is there, they can download it, but not everyone has turned in their forms.
From previous...
From April
elections?
25th. So I have a list there, and I'm going to
I'm a little late.
start on the,
Yeah.
And some people think if they have no balance, they don't have to bring it in. They do. They have to bring it in. And these are going to go on the website.
Yeah.
So I'm going to encourage people. I'm giving them some slack, but I could, we could find them every day. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
whatever. But I'll work on that. So they have to have, the financial forms have to come in. It's the law. It's not my rule.
Yeah.
What do I care what they have?
You're just following them.
Right, and then by the same token, we also have people that the Board of Selectmen, as the body that appoints to various committees, volunteer committees, commissions, whatever. Everyone that's appointed, if they haven't filled it out before, it's good for 2 years, an ethics form,
Yeah.
and we keep those. And you need one, if you're on 3 or 4 different committees, you have to have one for each committee. It's a pain in the neck, but you have to do it. And then also, we've had some people that put their name in to be appointed, were appointed, and haven't come in to be sworn in.
Oh.
So they're not really members of that board or committee. So I went up to Sherry, who's Steve Mayo's secretary, executive secretary, and I gave her the list of the people. Now, as the appointing body, I can't contact, well, I could, I suppose, but she should be contacting them, and she's going to. And if they're not interested, then that leaves a vacancy on that particular board or commission.
Okay.
And then they can advertise it again rather than let it go.
Keep it open.
Yeah, so she has the list of those people. So,
Do you have very many open positions? Or do you know?
well, we have none right now because the people haven't said they don't want to do it, but they haven't committed to be sworn in.
Okay.
They also have to be sworn in for each one if they're on 2 or 3 commissions.
Yeah.
And the same cast of characters volunteer all over town. So they might be on this, that, or the anything that the Board of Selectmen has authorized.
Yeah.
I think. Or an elected position has to be done as well. And they sure as heck come in. Or they couldn't serve.
Yeah,
Couldn't serve. Volunteering is one thing, but an election they have to. And they came in, very, very well.
What about business certificates?
Business certificates are every 4 years.
Yeah.
It's $50 for 4 years, and I break it down. It's $1.25 a month.
Yeah.
I follow up on that, and I'll send out maybe every 2 months. I'll send out notices to the businesses that you're coming up for renewal, so that there's some continuity there. Now, some people have gone out of business. That happens.
Yeah.
That's the chance you take. But then we have the tried and true. So probably at the end of this, probably July 1st, I'll send out another batch saying, look, you do, blah, 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 it's $50. And the people are very good about it. And these are DBAs. If you're incorporated, you don't have to do it. But they're very good. We probably have 175.
All right, just for people who may not know, what is a business certificate? I mean, I know what it is, but I mean...
Right. The business certificate has the name of the business,
Yeah.
location of the business, which of course is Wakefield.
Yeah.
Right, because we don't care about anybody else. And then it will list the owner of the business, where the owner lives, which may or may not be in Wakefield.
Yeah.
They have to sign it in front of us, and if not, it has to be notarized. Their signature has to be notarized. And then, again, the business, their email, their tax ID number, information that they might need to open even a checking account, or change a checking account, a business checking account, and that's it. And then it expires 4 years after that.
Oh, 4 years. Yeah.
4 years for $50. It's a
And
deal.
That just keeps track of everything. Now, I got some other questions, but when you took this job over, was it about a year now?
It's been, I was on for a year, and now I'm into, April, May, June. So 14 months ago.
14 months.
It seems like only yesterday.
Now, I mean, I've known you for a long time, but
Right.
I never realized that you knew all this stuff about being town clerk. But, I mean, you're going on and on about all this stuff. How did you know all this stuff?
I didn't know it.
How
Well, I
did
knew, no, wait a minute. Take that back.
Yeah.
I knew probably 75% of what was done there.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily know how to do it,
Yeah.
but I knew what the job entailed. Then there were things I didn't know that it entailed. Let's say I knew 90%. And then there's 10% I'm thinking, we do this too? What? Oh, really?
Where'd that come from?
Where'd that come from? Oh, we're in charge of that as well. But for Rose Morgan, and I'm going to repeat this again, but for Rose Morgan and Denise Oates, every day I said, I want to learn something. I want to know how to do it. Not just that we do it. I want to know how to do it.
Right.
And I did.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Well, it's pretty amazing when you think of it, because, I mean, we've had a number of shows here, and every time we have a show, you come up with a whole list of different things that I had no idea that you'd be involved with.
Right.
'Cause obviously, I'm not involved in that
Right.
area, but
No,
and
it's
just
amazing.
one thing after another after another. It's like,
Right.
how do you keep track of all that
Well,
stuff?
we could have somebody come in, an attorney could come in and want a copy of, and this happened, I won't get into the names, it's any big deal, that wanted something from several years ago, a Board of Appeals decision.
Yeah.
All right, so that's one thing. Then we get the new Board of Appeals decisions that come from the building department, goes from Tinkers to Evers to Chance type thing, and they'll come in, we file that. We take any, if there's an accident and a town vehicle, maybe plowing knocks over somebody's hedge,
Okay, yeah.
all of the claims come through
That
me.
has to, you have
Now,
to deal with that?
No.
No.
We have
Oh.
to, we get all the information, I keep it on file, I scan it over to Tommy Mullen, then it's in his hands.
Okay. Yeah.
The Freedom of Information Act is the biggest pain in the neck ever in the world, because I don't know who's asking for it. They could say mickeymouse@gmail.com,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, whatever. And they ask for specific things. You have 10 days. The clock starts ticking as soon as I open that email.
Mm-hmm.
I checked it out too.
Yeah.
Great peripheral vision. And once I open that email, as I say, I have 10 days unless I have a very legitimate excuse why they don't get their information back.
Yeah, yeah.
But I probably get an average of one a day. They're a pain in the neck. I immediately forward their question to the responsible department. And I've got to say, I get it back. We're turning them over in less than 24 hours, and then I'm done with it. Done.
Yeah.
So I got one this morning, turned it over, and we had to wait because it was information on an intermunicipal agreement. Got it right back. And I want it off my plate.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
You don't like stuff hanging around.
Oh, no.
Can't do it.
Or people.
Because you never know when it's going to come up and, you know, hit you
I don't
in the
need
head.
it because
Yeah.
I'm the, now,
Yeah.
because the state has made every town clerk the records, what am I called? Records officer or whatever it is,
Yeah.
RAO. I don't know what it is and don't much care, but I want it off my plate.
Yeah. Was that something new that just happened?
January 1st went into effect.
Into effect? Oh, wow.
No, we're there for people's questions.
Yeah.
But I could say to you, look, Tommy, we're straight out, we're in the middle of an election, let's say. I'll get it to you in a couple of weeks. No,
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, 10 days. Now, what are they going to, I don't know what they do to me, but I'm moving them,
You
I'm
still
done.
need that aggravation.
And it's because of the cooperation that I have
Yeah.
from the building department. Most of them are building and public works.
Okay.
Although there was a lady the other day that wanted to know who owned the property next to her. She gave me her address, and I won't use her name, not that it's any big deal, because there was a tree on that property, and it's a vacant lot, that really was into her yard and could have been a problem. So that went to the assessor's office. Got right back with me, and I realized it's town-owned property, so I got back to her. This is all within maybe an hour. Got back to her and said, contact the DPW.
Yeah.
ASAP. Here's the phone number. Here's Ricky Stinson's email address. You know, tell him your problem, and then it'll be taken care of. But it can go for anywhere from that to how many dogs do you have licensed by breed?
Yeah.
You know, you say, who cares?
Somebody
Because it's from
does,
somebody
yeah.
from San Antonio, Texas, that wants to now get a hold of these people and sell them those, you know, invisible fences or something. See, but I can't say no to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get back to the thing. How about street lists?
All right, the street list went out, and I'm breaking with tradition
Yeah.
this year. We've always had, and I think it's been beautiful, the last 2 years that I did it, we had a beautiful, I get it from Nancy Bertrand, a nice historical
Oh,
picture.
yeah, yeah.
And Nancy does it up, and she gives the information. And this year, I'll tell you what I wanted to put on, and she just wouldn't allow me to do it. The Albion Cultural Exchange,
Yeah.
the old MLD building
Yeah,
on Albion
yeah.
Street. Well, we support that. And by we, I mean Rose and Denise and myself. So a few months ago, Rose and Denise went and they painted something. And Rose did, honest to God, it's hanging in my office, a beautiful painting of the Floral Way.
Oh.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put that on the front of the cover of the street list, and then on the back page where saying that it was because of one night at the Albion Cultural Exchange and how it's being supported by members of the community and so forth and so on. Well, she didn't want it on there. She said it's ugly, it's this, it's that. So I had to give in.
Yeah.
I had to give in. So I have now a picture. I'm not going to do anything historical this year. I want to promote the Albion Cultural Exchange. So we have a beautiful picture, very vibrant, and different. It's not just a flat head-on.
Yeah.
It's very different. And that's going to be on the front cover. And then just a brief history of the Cultural Exchange. And
That's it.
go from there.
Yeah.
So that's at the printers anyway. We sent that out, I don't know when, but we have to wait until people fill in the census.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect. So so that will be back hopefully in a couple of weeks. But I have one problem there as well. It costs $17 to have each one printed.
Wow.
And we sell them for 10.
Yeah. Something's wrong
So
there.
something, as a former math teacher, I don't deal, I dealt in negative numbers, but I don't like it when it comes to the town.
Yeah.
So we are going to, it's online. We're going to have it online. We did last year. But it's going to have to be $20 just to cover the cost of the printing and the shipping and everything. We're going to have to. You know, it's been $10 for probably decades, but somewhere along the line, maybe it should have gone up to $12.50 and maybe then to $15, so you don't have to jump sky high. But we have to just to cover the printing and the shipping and everything else that's involved. You know, and again, it's online, so no one has to buy it.
Yeah.
They can print out or take a look at it, and we have a copy at the library and so forth. But that's at the printers now. Yep.
Right. And what else do we have in there?
Well, I joined the Chamber of Commerce as the town clerk because I believe that I should have become involved in it because I deal with the businesses because of the business certificates. I just felt it was a way of becoming part of the community. I think sometimes there's too many separate entities when we could all work together and all help one another out. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
So I joined and I went to the annual meeting, which was last Tuesday, over at the Four Points Sheraton. And it was very nice. And people got awards, and it was nice. And I know 90% of the people anyway. Yeah. And I just, to me, it's a way that you should support the other entities within the town. Yeah. You know, again, the Albion Cultural Exchange, the Chamber of Commerce, and we all work together. And
yeah, the Chamber's come a long way. It really has.
Oh, absolutely.
And, it's just more involved now than it ever was before.
Right.
And I couldn't. I had a ticket for that event, but I was in a conference in Georgia at that point, so I wasn't able to go. But Ryan Boyd did go.
Yes.
And one of our crew members here, and he had a really nice time. It was a good opportunity for him to see what's going on.
Very, very nice. It was on a blistering hot night.
Yeah, you guys were in the middle of the heat wave then.
It was terrible. It was terrible out. But, at least in there it was comfortable and, very welcoming. And it's a nice venue. Yeah. For sure.
It's beautiful.
And I was happy to go. Yeah, nice.
Wow.
But speaking of 4 Point Sheraton, which happens to be at the corner of Audubon Road, I am after somebody, a corporation. They're scofflaws.
Do you know what a scofflaw is? Because I don't.
Yes, they're scoffing at the law. They're saying,
okay.
Who cares? We don't care about this.
Okay. All right.
I don't have to follow those rules. I'm going to tell you just who it is. I don't care. It's the Carabetta Corporation that own 95 Audubon Road. All right. They have a $90,000 underground tank. They're supposed to pay $150 a year, and every other person in this town, every other company, has paid it. It's due April 1st. Yeah. We have Rose sent them out, say, in March. It's due. Don't get it. They're down in Connecticut, I think. Yes, they are. So Rose sent it out in March. They don't send it in. So she sends them a second notice, email. Yeah. Then she called them. She says, Betsy, these people. I said, really? Really? I said, please give me that folder. So I started about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've left a lot of messages, none of which have been returned. And they got a little bit more pointed with each one. I'm dealing with a man here, no offense. None taken, I'm sure. And so I called today.
Did you get him?
I said, oh, no.
Oh, I didn't get him. Okay.
I got a woman. I went to another one. And I said, here's the deal. For a crummy, I think I used the word crummy. For a crummy $150, you can get rid of me. Yeah. But if you don't pay, you're not. I said, so now I'm going to turn you into the fire chief and the state fire marshal. I said, and because you are a HUD building and have a lot of Section 8, I said, I'm going to Congressman Seth Moulton, and I'm going to go to Congressman Clark. I said, that's the deal right now. I said, why don't you just send me $150? And then I said, why don't you send me $300, and I won't be hounding you next year, because I'm sure you're not going to pay it again. They collect rents every month over there. Yeah. They could care less. They're down in Connecticut, and I don't care anymore. If this is a mission I'm on, and I'm not going to let go, I'm going to be like a dog with a bone, doubling the price from $5 to $10. I'm not going to let go, because why should everyone else in this town, every other entity, pay And these bozos choose not to.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair. And as long as everything's equal, I'll live with it. You know, but they won't. So, and they've ignored my calls, and that's.
Well, you did say. Did you say you talked to a woman?
I left a voice message.
Oh,
you never
you
talked
never-
to a live person.
Oh,
there.
okay. I misunderstood. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I probably said it incorrectly, but
Yeah.
you never get to talk to a human being. The switchboard operator, then I get put on hold, but I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care. I'm going to beat them. I don't care what it takes. I want that $150 for this town.
Yeah.
Or I'll tell you, I could have the state fire marshal come out with Chief Sullivan,
Yeah.
and there'd be heck to pay out there.
Yeah.
Isn't
Shake
that
them
too
up
bad?
a little bit.
I know, and I love threatening them with, 2 congressmen.
Yeah.
And I even threw in, I said, and I know them personally. Big deal, big deal. Who cares?
Well,
No one cares.
This is good. We're running low on time here, but this is good. This is like to be continued. We'll have
Always.
to hear about this the next time you come on board here.
I hope I can. I hope I can. I have names too. So
Yeah.
That's the dangerous part.
Okay. Oh boy. All right then.
Yeah.
We'll have to follow up on this one.
Yeah, and you had a great time at the Rotary Convention.
Yes, we did.
International.
It was an international Rotary
Yes.
convention in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
And there was about 10 of us from Wakefield, Rotary of Wakefield.
Mm-hmm.
We went, and it was a great time. It's just amazing to meet people from all around the world.
I know.
It really is. And they're all dressed in their outfits that that they wear and they're part of the
Sure.
world and everything. And it's just a wonderful time. We did have some fun. Amy Luckowitz and myself. We went. Atlanta, Georgia has the second largest aquarium in the world.
Oh,
And they have 3 whale sharks swimming around this tank. A
oh,
whale shark is obviously pretty big fish, among other sharks and so on like that.
Surely.
So we all went swimming with the sharks, Amy and I.
you did?
Yeah, we jumped in the tank there and
Are you
swam
nuts?
around them. I guess so. It was really, truly amazing. It really was.
I bet it was. So not swimming with dolphins, you were swimming with
the
sharks.
sharks.
And you interview politicians, so
Yeah, that's
you were
right.
in your own
Yeah.
area, so to speak. Well, thanks for coming, Tommy. No, I'm only kidding
That's
you.
all right. That's okay.
I was just joking with
Our
you.
producer here is going to chuckle out of that one. But it was a good time. We had
Yeah.
a lot of fun. And you've never had it, if you haven't had a whale shark bump you once in your life, you're missing out on something. That was scary. He came up and they like to play with you. They know,
Yeah,
and they
well,
bump you. and
good for you.
It's a large fish, But,
Well,
It
yeah.
was fun. It was
Well,
fun.
hence the a whale shark.
Yeah, I know.
And Jaws came out 42 years ago yesterday.
Is that right?
Honestly,
wow.
yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
So just when you think it's
Okay.
look
Yeah,
at
there
you,
you
you
go.
brave person. Whatever.
All right, we're running
Thank you,
out of
Tommy.
time.
Thank
I
you.
look
It's a
forward to our
pleasure,
next
as
meeting.
always.
All right, thank you. Take care.
I will.
I know. I want to wait. I want to hear the rest of that story.
Part 2.
All right.
And thank you to your staff and everybody.